Well, hello and welcome. My name is Professor Matthew Hughes, and I'm here to talk in this short webinar about the great programme that we've got here at Brunel University in the Politics and History Division, examining military history. It's a one-year programme full-time or a two-year programme part-time. And a little bit about myself. I came here from the University of Salford, where I established a bachelor's programme in military history. I spent 2 years between 2008 and 10 as the Major General Matthew C. Horner Chair in Military History at the US Marine Corps University, and I joined a group of really exciting academics here at Brunel who work on intelligence, on security studies and military history, and we as a team will provide you with all the teaching and support that you need for the MA here at Brunel University. I'll talk a little bit about the MA and why you might want to come here and study. Before I do that, let me just mention a few things about Brunel University. We're celebrating our 50th anniversary this year, so we're a well-established university with a great campus in Uxbridge on the tube line, so you can get in and out of London easily if you want to go in for socialising, but also for academic work. It's a lovely place to study. It's close to London while also having the quiet feel of a campus. You can live here in student halls and make the most of our facilities, all the social and academic ones, and make the most of your time here studying for the MA. We were originally, many years ago, a well-established government department which joined with history about 20 years ago, and we're now a joint politics and history unit, and we've developed specialisms well established and internationally recognised in intelligence studies, in security studies, and now military history. And we recently had 2 professors, I'm one of them, who have come specially here to Brunel to teach military history. In total, we have 24 full-time members of staff across the 2 subject areas, politics and history. You deal on the MA programme with about 5 or 6 members of staff who will be the key people teaching you. We have a lively undergraduate cohort and also PhD students, and you'll be part of a postgraduate taught programme with other students, and we'd support you and you'd support each other so that you can get the most from the programme. We have excellent research schools, what are known as REF schools, Research Excellence Framework, and all the staff who teach you are research active. We all publish. I'll show you some pictures in a moment of some of our books. Before I do that, let me just mention a few key points about the programme. You might be wondering what it is that you'll be studying. It's a military history programme, so it would appeal to history students, although students from other backgrounds are more than welcome to apply, as are students who come from perhaps a tradition of being in the army or the police force and who might come with practical experience. We look at those cases on a bespoke basis. We normally ask for the equivalent of a 2-1 degree, but we will also consider students who can make a case with a 2-2 degree. The history that we cover is really interesting because we go right from the classical period. One of the modules you look at is warfare in the age of muscle, so in the period of the Romans and the Greeks, and we go right the way up to the present. One of the other core modules you will do will take you up to the current wars and counterinsurgencies that you see discussed in the papers today. So it's not just modern military history, it's classical, early modern and modern. And if you look here at the aims of the programmes, sort of formally laid out, if you look at the second point about providing students with a comprehensive and practical understanding of techniques of research, what you'll get from the programme is not just a specialist knowledge of military history, but you'll also become a historian, which is a great position to be in if you want to go on and do a PhD, or also if you want to go on and work in various government or private sector companies who value the skills that you will have as a historian. Most of the students who come onto the programme come with a history background, but not all of them. We have students coming from a background in journalism, some come from backgrounds in politics. We've even had some students who've come from a background with science degrees, but they're interested in the interaction between science and history. We provide students with research skills by way of a dissertation. You'll be taught, and I'll show you the modules in a moment, 4 taught modules, but you'll also do a 15,000 word dissertation, which is independent research, although you'll be closely supervised and helped to make sure that you get the most from your dissertation, which is the culmination point of your time at Brunel doing the MA. And lastly, in terms of forging a base and a range of cognitive and transferable skills, not only as historians, but the MA in military history will also give you more general employability skills which you can take out into what is an increasingly tough marketplace and give yourself an advantage against other potential prospective graduate employees. Turning to the people who will teach you, there are 5 key members of staff who teach on the modules that you'll be engaging with. I've mentioned myself, Professor Matthew Hughes. I work on British military history, in particular counterinsurgency. The other professor is Matthew Seligman, who's an expert in naval history. Dr. Christian Gustafsson has a specialism in intelligence history. He works on British military intelligence and security intelligence, and he also has an expertise in classical warfare that he developed from when he was teaching at the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst. And Christian Gustafsson is also a part-time officer in the army, so he brings skills from military history with a practical base. And Dr. Hannah Whitaker takes the focus outside of Europe and makes it a less Eurocentric program, so you can look at African military history. And finally, Dr. Martin Foley, a senior lecturer with a specialism in the Second World War and also international diplomacy as it relates to modern military history. This is just a selection here of a few of the books that we've published. There's a book I wrote, which is a survey text that's used as the core text for one of the modules. There's Dr. Whitaker's book on counterinsurgency in Kenya, Professor Seligman's book on the Royal Navy, Dr. Gustafsson's work on the intelligence branch in Chile during the Allende coup in the 1970s, and Martin Foley's work on the United States and the Second World War. In terms of the course content, which makes the program exciting and provides you with all the skills that you'll need to become a proper historian, it's 3 compulsory modules and 1 optional module. The 3 compulsory modules will provide you with a coverage of military history all the way from the Romans and Greeks right the way up to the present, with a specialist strand on the Royal Navy in the 20th century. So you can look at the age of sea power through the prism of the world's preeminent sea power at that time, Britain. In terms of optional modules, there's intelligence history, there's the Second World War, international security, which is a module that takes methodologies from other subject areas like security studies and political science, and then war in the military in modern African history. So you range both over a long period of time, 2,000 years from the Romans and Greeks to the present, but also geographically. So you look not just at European military history, but also at military history outside of Europe in places such as Africa. The 15,000 word dissertation, which you complete in the summer at the end of your the full-time program, is the culmination point of your work here at Brunel on the MA. You'll be closely supervised, and you can do a dissertation on any aspect of military history once it's been agreed with the supervisor. It needs to be a significant topic and one that you can do. But the course content is both interesting and also proper in terms of providing you with everything that you'll need to come out and emerge as a graduate and as a historian. Just a few more points about Brunel and some of the advantages of studying here. We have internal seminar series in both military history and intelligence studies that you can attend while you're studying at Brunel. The course content for the modules is about 2 hours contact time in the classroom every week, but outside of that you'll see your personal tutor and module leaders. But you can also take advantage of the seminars that we offer, so that you can broaden your range of understanding outside of the taught modules. And there's also a very good military history seminar series at the Institute for Historical Research in London that you can attend on Tuesday evenings. And Brunel, being in the centre in London, allows you access to all these other resources, including access to London's archives and the British Library, which is a copyright library and is a fantastic resource to use both for coursework essays and for the dissertation. We have a dedicated membership that you can use to gain access to the Royal Institute for International Affairs, often known as Chatham House in St James Square, which is a forum where you can listen to diplomats and senior soldiers talking about current affairs today. And finally, we have a very good military history collection in the library, but we also have a dedicated military history book collection that was bequeathed to us, which is stored separately in Brunel University and gives you an extra bonus in terms of gaining access to good resources so that you can write and read for all the different modules that you'll be teaching. Well, that provides a summary of the MA in Military History, and obviously if you need to contact me, I'll be delighted to take any emails. You have my email address here, and I look forward to hearing from you in due course. Well, if anyone has any questions for me, I'd be delighted to respond if you type any questions in, and I'll give as fuller response as I can give, and we can go from there. Oh, hi Neil. You've already applied for our MA program, so it's a delight to have you online. Have you got anything you'd like to ask? Hey Neil, no, the system is that I speak to you, but you type to me. So if you type in a question, I'll then respond in the spoken word. Hey Neil, you're talking about the timetable. We don't have any more news on the timetable, and I think it won't be out until July. Now, the best thing to do is to email me on, you've got my email address. I respond very, very quickly to emails. And maybe email me right at the end of June. I'll see then if there's any more news on the timetable. I know there was an issue with flexibility because of your work, and I'm really doing my best to work around that. And also, if you're doing it part-time, so we've got some flexibility because you can do different modules and different patterns. I really hope that there's a way around this, but I know we did discuss the timetable and the issue in terms of your work. So if you can contact me towards the end of the month, I'll respond as quickly as I can. And if I don't know then, I'll say, look, give me your email address and I'll respond, or you can contact me in mid-July. Just drop me a quick email and that will prompt me. And then once I know the timetable's out, I'll get in touch with you. I mean, in an ideal year, the timetable's out in June. So I'm hoping it will be out this month, but sometimes it's slipped over till July. That's the problem. Neil, I'm here to help. I'm really looking forward to meeting you. I mean, it's also nice to have someone who's a little bit older and you've got experience of other things as well, which relate to the program. So it's going to be a real pleasure to meet you. If you want to speak to me physically and come and have a chat over the summer, I'm around. I'm on leave a little bit in July and August, but I'm in London, so I'm happy to meet you here at Brunel, or I go to the British Library. I'm always happy to meet you in the cafe there, and we can talk about anything that might be an issue for you. Or if you want any help with reading in advance, book suggestions, I can do that as well. I think the issue for you is the timetable, and it's out of my hands because it's a centrally done process. But it's great to have you online, and it's nice to have a contact out there, and I look forward to seeing you physically in September. Great, Neil. Look forward to it. We'll contact with each other by email, and if you've got any worries or anything you need to know, just drop me a line. I respond very quickly to emails. So if you send me an email and I don't reply, it's because for some reason I haven't got the email. I always respond normally pretty much instantaneously. Okay, Neil. Good luck.